Millie, come on, let's get up, okay? Okay, she groaned back. Jaron continued to walk towards the laundry room, his heart palpitating. He opened the door, the beeping noise of the machine filling the air. What the? He approached it, opening the door and looking inside to see an empty drum. It beeped again, and then again, and again. Beep after beep after beep. You're empty. I didn't have a load going last night. What the heck is going on with you? He banged on the top of it, but it only seemed to beep louder. Daddy? He jumped, startled. He turned around to face his daughter. What? What are you doing? The washing machine won't stop beeping for some reason. I told you. Told me what? The beeper man gets his beeps. He wants them. He's gonna get them no matter what. Millie, go and get in the shower. You need to be ready for school. I told you shouldn't have gotten rid of the smoke detector. Millie, get in the shower, Jaron growled. He reached around back behind the machine, grabbing hold of the cord and pulling it from the wall. The beeping suddenly stopped, and he turned around. Millie was still standing there, staring up at him. You should have left that plugged in. Come on, time for school. Go and get in the shower. He put his hand on her shoulder, turning her around and then ushering her towards the bathroom. You should listen, Daddy. The beeper man says he'll get what he wants. Just get in the shower, Millie. Don't forget to leave the door unlocked. She stepped into the bathroom, shutting the door behind her. Jaron went into the kitchen to pull out the cereal and milk, putting them on the table for when Millie came out. He sat down himself, placing his hands on his forehead. What the heck? First his smoke alarm went on the fritz, and now his washing machine. He couldn't just plug and unplug it every time he needed to do laundry. He could barely reach back there, but he couldn't afford to replace the dang machine either, not without a job. The dang things. Why was he born into a time where everything was so dependent on electronics? This whole thing was absurd. Millie came out into the kitchen, smiling when she saw the sugar cereal on the table. Thank you, Daddy. Yeah, you're welcome. He took a deep sigh, standing up and heading for the freezer. Where are you going, Daddy? I'm just gonna microwave some frozen sausage for myself for breakfast. Oh, okay. He opened up the freezer and pulled out the bag, taking a few out and putting them on a plate. Daddy? Yes, Angel, he said, putting them in the microwave. The beeper man says to tell you not to unplug the microwave. He wants to hear the beeps. Millie, he yelped, nearly on the verge of shouting. There's no such thing as a beeper man. I told you, you saw him in your dreams. He's standing right at the microwave next to you. Jaron spun a full 360, not seeing anything. He stared at Millie, feeling his heart rate increasing. She was really starting to freak him out. You're not allowed to talk about the beeper man anymore. Okay, Millie? Why not? Because I said so. The microwave signaled it was done, and he opened the door. He pulled out the sausage and closed it again, being startled by the sudden beep it made. He placed the sausage down on the counter, grunting as he glared at the device. Not you too, dang it. I told you so. I said you aren't allowed to talk about the beeper man. He said he would get his beeps one way or another. Millie, shut it and eat you dang food. She went silent after that, but Jaron was too frustrated to feel any twinge of guilt. He was busy reaching around the back of the microwave to unplug it. He had ended up scooting it forward, finally getting enough space to remove the cord. The beeping stopped, and he breathed a sigh of relief. You shouldn't have done that, Daddy. Now he's mad. Eat your food. He marched off to his bedroom to fetch his cell phone, fists clenched. He picked it up and opened the internet browser, typing in the phrase, "Why are all of my appliances beeping?" A second or two later and the results loaded, and he began scrolling through. Daddy, the bus is here. Okay, see you this afternoon, Angel. He bit his lip as he continued scrolling, none of the results seeming to match up with his particular issue. Gosh, dang it. Dang this whole thing, he muttered. What the heck is wrong with all this? He was suddenly jerked out of his thoughts by the sound of the dryer beeping. He dropped his phone on the bed and marched off to go and fix it. He found himself inside a Home Depot later that day, standing around in the appliance section. A middle-aged man approached him, smiling. "How can I help you, sir?" "Yeah, so, I have a question? About appliances?" "Yeah. Can I check any prices for you?" No. So everything in my house keeps beeping. Like, everything. I've had to unplug my microwave, my washer, my dryer, and unscrew a smoke alarm." "What do you mean by beeping?" "Like, the smoke detector kept making the noise they make when they're low on battery. I changed the batteries twice and it still wouldn't stop. Then the washing machine was just making that sound it makes when the load is done. It was making that sound on repeat. And then so was the microwave. And this morning the dryer was making that noise too." The man stared blankly at him for a moment. Yeah. I've got to say that's probably a bit above my pay grade. Have you called like a handyman yet?" "No, I can't afford that. I was hoping this might be an easy fix that I could get solved here." "Yeah. No. If it was just one machine, maybe I could help you. But if they're all beeping at once, I have to say I'm at a loss." Jaron pursed his lips, nodding slowly. "Dang. All right. I guess I do gotta call a handyman." "Yeah. I'm sorry, sir." "No, it's all right. Is there anything else I can help you with today?" Jaron sighed. "No, that'll be fine." "Okay. Thank you, sir. Have a good day." "You too." He walked away, feeling defeated. He didn't have money to fix any of this right now. He couldn't afford a dang lick of it. Michael. Maybe Michael could help him out a little bit more. He was handy. Maybe he could fix it. And if he couldn't, perhaps he could take him up on his other offer and afford to hire someone who could. He pulled out his phone once he got into the car, dialing him up immediately. "Hey, Jaron. Is that you?" "Yeah, Mike. It's me. What can I do for you?" "I was hoping maybe you could come over to my place sometime later today or tomorrow. Everything is beeping now." "All the rest of your smoke alarms went haywire?" "No. All the rest of my house did." He started up the engine of his car, shutting the door behind him. "What do you mean?" "Like, all of my appliances have been beeping with no end. The microwave, the washing machine, the dryer. I don't know what the heck to do." Well, I don't know if I would either. I can come and take a look, I guess. I probably wouldn't be able to tell you anything. I'd just end up agreeing with you that this indeed is a weird situation." "Yeah. Okay. Thanks, Mike. I'll be home anytime you want to come over. Millie gets home from school soon. I've got to be there for her." "Yeah, okay. See you then." "'Kay. See ya." He hung up, sighing as he drove home. His mind swirled with bewilderment, and he was feeling quite tense once he finally did pull up to his house. He opened the garage and pulled inside. Out of the car he stepped, shutting the door behind him and heading for the one which would let him into the mudroom. There was a gentle beeping when he stepped in. His fists balled with rage as he marched into the kitchen. The dishwasher was making the noise it made when it was finished, which was odd, of course, since there wasn't even anything inside it to have been washed. Dang this blasted thing. He squatted down and anchored his fingers into the gap between the dishwasher and the cabinets. He clamped down on it and began scooching it out. Every 2 seconds it played the noise again, beep after beep after beep after beep. He heard the front door open and Millie walked in. "Daddy?" "Yeah, you can have an after-school snack, Millie. Just let me unplug the dang dishwasher." There was a pause. Then his daughter continued. "The beeper man says you really shouldn't unplug it." "Millie, I'm tired of hearing about this stupid beeper man. Just grab a cup of applesauce out of the fridge or something if that's what you want." "The beeper man keeps saying it, Daddy. He keeps saying that he will have his beeps." "Ain't no beeping gonna be going on in my house. Tell him to go and make someone else's house beep." "He says he's very creative. He says he will find a way to get his beeps. Jaron finally got it out enough so that he could reach around and pull the plug. He did so, silencing the dishwasher at last. Yeah, he can go and beep in someone else's house if he wants. No. Daddy, he's warning you. Plug the dishwasher back in. He will find a way to make sure there are beeps. He says he'll find a way to make sure you don't want to turn the beeps off. He'll get you to never turn off the beeps again. I'd like to watch him try. Just eat your snack, Millie. Michael should be here soon to help me fix these blasted things. Don't try and fix them. The beeper man will get his beeps. Just eat your snack. She shrugged. Okay. But I warned you. I told you what the beeper man said. And he means it. Jaron didn't find himself getting that much sleep that night. Michael had come over, and all they really did was talk. Talk about how weird this whole thing was. There was nothing to be done. They needed someone with more professional experience to come and figure it all out. Nonetheless, everything Millie had been talking about had him on edge. For whatever reason, her wild fantasies of this beeper man had supplanted a feeling of angst into his gut. Why was she being so insistent on this thing? Eventually, his phone's alarm went off, and he rolled over in bed to shut it off. To somewhat of his surprise, it actually did shut off. The beeping was done. He sat up in bed and took a yawn before climbing all the way out. Millie, it's time to get ready for school, he hollered, putting on his pants. He walked out into the hallway, heading towards her door. Millie, come on. Get up. Ugh, she moaned. I don't want to go to school. Come on, you'll have fun. Head into the shower. Let's go. Okay. He waited until he saw her get out of her bed, and then proceeded to go over to the kitchen. He went for the cereal again, pausing. Hey, maybe a good father shouldn't feed this to his kid so many days in a row. He put it back and opened the fridge instead, taking out the eggs. He looked at the water filter alarm on it, smiling a little to himself. No beeping. That's good. He maneuvered his way around the unplugged dishwasher towards the stove. He pulled out a pan and cracked a few eggs into it, then took out a spatula to begin scrambling them. He thought to himself while he watched the eggs slowly cook, turning from their clear color to a whiter hue, thinking about how strange this whole thing was, how stressful it was too. Now he had to pay for a handyman to come and fix all their appliances, all while he didn't have a job. And for what? Why the heck were they all beeping in the first place? It was just beep after beep after beep. It was absolutely maddening. He took the eggs off the stove after a few minutes, putting half onto a plate for Millie and half onto a plate for him. Millie, breakfast is ready. No response. Millie? He began walking down the hall towards the bathroom door. Millie, breakfast. The only sound was the sound of the shower water. Millie? He jiggled the door handle a little, his heart rate on the incline. Millie, I thought I told you not to lock doors. Still, nothing. Millie? Millie. He found himself vigorously shaking the handle, a sudden panic overcoming him. Millie. He ran to his room, grabbing a quarter off the nightstand. He sprinted back with it, inserting the coin into the slot on the door handle and twisting it in a flash. He thrust the door open, jumping to the shower. He opened the curtain, finding Millie laying there in the water with a small trail of blood running out of the side of her head. Oh my gosh, Millie! Millie! He couldn't find his breath. He whipped out his phone and dialed 911 in an instant. Hello? I need an ambulance. My daughter slipped in the shower. She's bleeding and won't wake up. Jaron sat in the hospital, shaking. His face was in his palms as he waited outside the door, hardly able to breathe. Sir, came the voice of the nurse. Jaron looked up. We've got her stabilized. She hit her head pretty hard. I'm afraid she's in a coma. Can I come in and see her? She nodded gently, letting him into the room. He looked at the still body of his daughter, his eyes swelling up all over again. Oh, Millie. Millie. How did this happen? He sat by her bedside, crying as he listened to the rhythmic beeps of the heart monitor next to the bed. Every couple seconds, another beep, and another. Beep after beep after beep after beep, and a slight smirk on Millie's face as if saying, "I told you so."